Hello, I'm just outside today for the first time in my greenhouse. It's just one of those zip up ones, and I wanted to show you my Gymnocalcium. This is what it looks like before it goes into full bloom. It's already starting to open, and sometimes it can look like, if you've not been keeping an eye on your plant, that it's closing back up, but this hasn't even opened yet. It's preparing to open, but it's an overcast day, and you can see the previous flower that's died back, this one, and then this one was the second one of the season so far, and I didn't have anything to pollinate it with, so I haven't got any other Gymnocalciums in flower or bloom. And I've had this one for a little while now, and when I got it, it was half the size of this, so it's really put on some good growth. And it flowered previously for me as well when I first purchased it, but you can see the stem is really beautiful. It's bright green. It starts to swell a bit more as it comes into flower, and it has like a waxy shiny appearance, and this is a white flower which has these undercolours under the petals. Just wanted to show you what it looks like before bloom. Now, this one takes quite a while. It starts off with tiny little buds, and they take quite a number of weeks to flower. It's a tiny one here, and this one is Cactus winteri. This is also known as the golden rat's tail, and this stem here had not that one, no, it must have been this one. This one's been the one that's been producing the flowers. Got another bud there. And all these bright green ones are all the new growth, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to show you that whilst it was in bud. I did have a flower come up, which I'll put a picture up of that in this video, and the spines are quite stiff. As you get towards the base, it gets a lot more golden, and as these age, this will turn to a similar colour. And they do get close to the base these longer spines, as you can see here, and they're a lot more stiffer and spikier, and they can be quite painful. Often at times I've come in here and caught myself on these and they've jabbed me. But yeah, I'll just put the light on. There you go, you can see this tiny one just at the base of the areole. It's where they start pushing out. They look like little swollen tiny green bits, and then that tip there starts to push out, and as they get bigger you notice a little tiny pink bit on the end, and that's a telltale sign that you've got your little buds, and they're so beautiful. And this is like a reddy salmon pink colour, and I've got it hung up in here outside. Moving on to my Echinopsis subdenudata. You can see the fluffy charcoal coloured bud there, and it's really fluffy and hairy. I just turn it. This is the first time this plant has ever flowered for me. I had a previous flower out of this areole here. I attempted to pollinate it, and the stem, which was about this long, and then the huge white flower, it all died back and it was still attached, and I'm not sure whether it was a success. I come in a few days later checking up on the plants, and this can get quite windy and it flaps in, and I think it possibly knocked it off. So whether that was successful I don't know, but afterwards it started producing another bud. So I'll be keeping a close eye on that one. And this one's a 4-headed plant. This was a gift from my mum a few years ago now, and it's been in the same pot that she gave it to me in, and I still haven't repotted it yet, but I'm going to refrain from that until it's completely stopped flowering. If it gets too late into the season, I'll wait for springtime next year to repot. This is another one. This is Echinopsis as well. Echinopsis oxygona F. brevispina. This one I've just recently purchased, early August 2019. And since I've had it a few weeks, this here has been getting bigger. And I don't think it's a flower. I think it might be another side pup, because at the base there you can see a pup growing. That came like that with that already attached, so I'm keeping an eye on that. But as I move around the plant, you can see this fluffy bit here is a lot different to the other areoles. It's a lot fluffier. So I think this might be a flower bud, and it's probably doubled in the size since I bought it. It's very tiny to begin with, so we'll wait and see. But this weather lately, not sure whether it will flower. This one is another Gymnocalcium, Gymnocalcium damsii. There. This is a recent purchase, a few months back, and when they arrived, I had a batch of plants. When they arrived, they were covered in mealybugs, so I had to quarantine them, treat them, and the buds that were on there when it arrived dried up and fell off. And this has taken weeks now, but it's produced a new bud. So don't give up on your plant. It looked like it was dying or dead, but it's not. It was just recovering from the shock of being in transit, me treating it with bug spray, raking it back to bare roots, washing it down with water, letting it dry out for a few weeks. I repotted it. A few weeks later it's producing a new bud, so that's good. This one, Matacana oreodoxata, this was another one that came as part of a set of plants, and this was infested with spider mite, literally crawling over the entire surface. So I had to do the exact treatment with that one, and it just sat for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and did nothing. And all of a sudden it started to expand, and you could see the bright green colours. You see how it differs in the colour. You've got the dark green, then a bright green in between the cracks. That was where it was expanding and growing, and then it started pushing up a flower bud. And I was really happy because I thought it was dead for a while, but it was just doing its thing and recovering. Okay, I just thought I'd show you this while I'm outside. This one just continues to flower on and off for weeks now. This is a mammillaria. I've took quite a few of the side shoots off around the side. You can see like the smaller starry sections. There was more around this front area. I've took them all off to propagate. But this continues to flower, and it's just got one flower open up today. And these are my beautiful astrophytums, the ones that have produced those seedlings that I've shown you in previous videos. And they're in their second round of budding, so that's really nice to see. I've just brought my Astrophytum myriostigma plant indoors because it was too sunny outside and I really wanted to show you the flowers. I've got it under my bright light here to try and keep the flower from closing, because if the sunlight or the light goes away they tend to just close up. And I wanted to show you, I've already pollinated these about half an hour ago. I used the pollen from my other Astrophytum, F. nudum, to pollinate on here. The lighting's not exactly brilliant, but you can get a better idea. But this is a double bloom. I've never had two flowers open up at the same time on this plant, so it's really beautiful. They were preparing to bloom a couple of days ago, and I went out to check today, and there we are, they're in full bloom. So I couldn't waste any time, so I had to pollinate them straight away. So I really want to see if the pollen I collected from my other cactus and then kept stored in the fridge would work, because I've never stored pollen before, and it was successful on my other flower because I got seeds, which I've done in a previous video. You can really see how big these flowers are. They're beautiful. They're so shiny. And underneath they're sort of furry. And there are some more buds opening, sorry, not opening, coming out here, but I don't know whether they'll come into flower because it's late summer now. And I won't be giving them too much more water after this, so they can dry out ready for the winter. I'm going to take some pollen from these flowers and put it away for storage for next time.